Marcus Johnson, and you're watching VideoWebb.
You're watching VideoWebb.
How you doing? I wouldn't miss it for the world. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
I like that jacket.
Thank you. I kind of like it too.
He does.
Bill got around, didn't he?
Yeah. Good to see you. Now I know it's going to be covered.
All right, nice.
That's wonderful. And thanks for including the other ones that we had also.
My pleasure.
That helped a lot.
Yeah.
My babies, they weren't here for any of that.
Yeah.
So seeing the videos was good. That's Low Clark. Hi. You're right. We're at 9. So that one's straight over there. Right over there. You ready? Follow you.
I can miss Bill from it.
I'm glad. How are you?
I want to ask you a question, sir.
My grandson's at Culver City High, man. You guys took him to see the LeBron movie. When did it get? Yeah.
What's his grandson's name?
My grandson is Cameron
okay.
Robinson.
Yeah.
Cameron Robinson.
Well, I'm there. I'm not there anymore.
Oh, you're not there?
No,
Okay,
I'm in Cal State, LA now.
That's my alma mater.
Yeah.
That's my alma mater.
While we wait for the dessert to come out, we want to acknowledge one of our Hall of Fame members who has to catch a flight from LAX. So we're going to honor him a little bit early. So we'll bring Mike Gallops up here, the president of the Hall of Fame. He'll present the medallion to a gentleman who excelled at Verbum Day, went on to the University of Utah, helped the Utes go all the way to the championship game. They had to lead against Kentucky. Unfortunately, they didn't hold on, but he had a magnificent career at Utah. I remember him tormenting BYU. Then he went on to have a very successful NBA career. Before he catches a flight, let's bring up Andre Miller. Also a terrific coach. He's got a flight about 9 o'clock out of LAX, and I think he wants to say a word or two. Andre Miller.
Hope everybody's doing well today. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the committee for this opportunity. I want to say congratulations to everybody that was chosen to represent California and California basketball, which means a lot to me. There's a lot of people here that came before me, sitting at the table with David Greenwood, a lot of legends, people that I looked up to growing up, that motivated me to pursue basketball. I also have my mom here, biggest probably support system in my life. I was that kid that was at the grocery store. When you guys come out the grocery store, that'll say you want to buy candy for $1. You know what I'm saying? And we would use that money to go to Clippers and Lakers games to see Michael Cooper, Magic Johnson, and all those people. So I was that kid that was standing outside the grocery store from Los Angeles. So again, I'm very grateful and humble for the opportunity to represent my family, my mom, the community where I come from, and also just the lineage of talent and players to come through California and be blessed enough to follow in those guys' footsteps, those men and women. So I appreciate it. I'm not going to be long. I actually have a job now, so I got to catch a plane to go do some work. But again, congratulations to everybody, and have a good night.
Want Mike Gallops to stay up here, our president, the Hall of Fame. He has a special presentation.
Thank you. On behalf of everyone associated with the Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame, I'd like to thank you for attending this evening and making our second event so successful and historic. I want to let you know that even though we were slowed down by COVID, our volunteers have kept working hard the last couple of years because of the basketball greats here tonight, and the families deserve this public honor for what they've meant to local basketball. I'd also like to recognize the efforts of our Executive Director, Michael Sondheimer. Michael, if you please stand wherever you're running around. Michael is 100% of the work behind this project, and I'm very grateful that someone connected me with him and got us started down this road. So thank you very much, Michael. Appreciate it. We're a non-profit, and as a result, we have an obligation to donate to the community. And the mission of Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame is to fund community organizations committed to basketball opportunities for boys and girls. The Boys and Girls Club of Long Beach does that. We'd like club executives Min Lu and Cherie F. Shelton to come to the podium to receive our 2023 scholarship donation.
Thank you, Mike. You know, I'm looking out at Jay Billis, and I remember him at Duke playing against North Carolina and Michael Jordan, and Jordan came down the floor, he blocked the shot, went down the other way and slammed in Michael's face. Those memories of Billis at Duke hammering Michael Jordan are just vivid for me. I never tell the truth. It's time for our charity auction, which is always a fun time. We also want to thank the Boys and Girls Club of Long Beach for what they do for the community. I wanted to get that out there, and we'll try to help you again in the future. All right, the charity auction has a number of good items. The Lakers swag we have for you. See how we do with this one. It's valued at $1,000. Can be yours. And all it includes is an autographed ball in a case with Rui Hachimura, an official Laker cap worn by Austin Reeves. Actually, he signed it. I don't know if he really wore it, but he signed it. So there's all other Laker material with it, both LeBron James and Paul Gasol retired t-shirts, a very nice Laker tote bag to carry around, and again, this is worth $1,000. And we're going to start the bidding at a tame $400, just $400. Maybe you can find that $400 we couldn't find for the Clippers. Doesn't look like it. $400 for all the Lakers stuff. Not even Jay Billis is bidding on this. This is tough. This is Laker material. It's $1,000. You would think Michael Cooper would bid on this. 400 from Michael Cooper. That's why we brought him here tonight, to bid on all the Laker material. Do I hear 450? I'm just getting warmed up. 450 in the building. Cooper plays defense. You can play offense. Go to 450. Does anyone have 450 on? 400 going once. Just what Michael Cooper needs is more Laker gear. Going twice. $400. Michael Cooper's got the goods.
The Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame was founded in the summer of 2019 to honor the great local basketball players, coaches, and contributors that have made the national and international sport so special, from Los Angeles to Orange County to San Diego, and including San Bernardino, Riverside, and up to Santa Barbara County. The 501c3 charity is designed to support disadvantaged youth basketball opportunities throughout the area. We had a great opening event to honor the 2020 and 2021 classes, and now we honor the 2022 and 2023 induction classes. The 2022 third class of the SCBBHOF includes Coach Bill Armstrong, Stacy Ogman, Jane Willis, Mitchell Butler, Michael Cooper, Keith Erickson, Nicole Erickson, David Greenwood, Ebony Hoffman, Andre Miller, Eugenia Miller-Rycroft, Paul Pierce, Tayshawn Prince, Lorenzo Roma, Coach Willie West Jr. And Candace Wiggins. And our lifetime service winners are from 2022, Steve Fryer, and 2023, Rainer Wolf. The 2023 fourth class of the SCBBHOF includes Coach Terry Bamford, Coach Bob Boyd, Rich Branning, Coach Lou Sianovich, Sade Wiley Keatwood, Chris Johnson, Bill Lambier, Greg Lee, Juliana Mendiola, Willie Knowles, Dwayne Poley Sr., Jeanette Poland, Coach Jerry Tarkanian, and Freeman Williams. Congratulations to our third and fourth Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame classes, and follow us as we continue to grow at www.socalbasketballhof.com.
Love it. What a great group. Those old pictures really awesome. I'd like to bring back Mike Gallops on stage along with one of our really great donors from Orange County Sports Commission, Anthony Brenneman, to present the Lifetime Service Medallions. Next, as I introduce our recipients, and there's two of them, and you can read about these gentlemen in the program. One of the important objectives that the Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame wanted to accomplish was to honor basketball individuals that have given years and years of their time and efforts to make the game that much better on a local, national, and international basis. The award could be for an administrator, game official, club director, longtime coach, or media member. As you saw from the video, we have two unique honorees tonight. Here from the class of 2022 is Southern California's News Group high school basketball expert, Steve Fryer, and former stand-up UCI player, coach, and longtime CIF administrator, Reiner Wolf. Time for them to accept the medallions and give short speeches. Steve will get the honor first.
Thank you, Michael Sonheimer and his team, for inviting me to your party. When I was playing intermittently at Saddleback High School in Santa Ana, I had this crazy goal of playing basketball for a living, but I was missing two things, talent and physique. So sports writing offered me the opportunity to make a living in the sports world. Thank you to my great wife, Kathy, 40 years of marriage, for all your love and support. And one thing that I know for sure that I have in common with everybody in this room, everybody being honored here tonight, is that I had great mentors, and I owe them all so much. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. As you can see from the picture of me up there, it truly has been a lifetime. That was back from college about 30 years ago. But Michael, good job doing some digging to find that one. But with a lifetime achievement goes with a lot of support. I wanted to thank my wife, Linda, who's back here. We're in our 30th year of marriage and 2 kids. So couldn't have done what I did without her support. I also have a few mentors back at our table. Former CIF Commissioner Rob Wygott is back there. Rob just recently retired, as I did. Got us all through COVID way back when, so I think he deserves a round of applause for getting the kids back playing quickly, along with Tom Simmons, who's an assistant commissioner, and Jerry DeFavis, who has taken my position at the CIF Southern Section office. But just want to thank the Hall of Fame for this honor. It's been great. This room is full of people I looked up to, watched on television, played against. Where's Lorenzo? It's been wonderful. So with a lifetime achievement, it also tells you that it's time to leave, it's time to move on. Thank you.
Congratulations to Steve and Ryder, well deserved. Gotta put my glasses back on. I want to recognize the honorees that couldn't be here due to illness, travel, or unfortunately passing away. Their bios are in the program and they were mentioned in the tribute as well. We'll start with Bill Lambier. He led Palos Verdes High School to one of the biggest CIF title upsets in history. As you all know, he was a great basketball player, a center at Notre Dame, and an enforcer for the NBA champion Detroit Pistons. And then, obviously, as a coach in the WNBA, he had a terrific success rate as well. His daughter, Carrie, wanted to accept for him tonight, except she's working in the WNBA playoffs with the Las Vegas Aces. They played today and won, by the way. They won over the Sky 92-70. Bill Lambier. Bill Armstrong was one of the greatest local high school coaches of all time. The only one with 2 unbeaten CIF title teams while at Compton, and he produced numerous college and even professional standouts. Representing the Armstrong family is his center, who became an Olympic high jumper, Ronaldo Brown. All right, good evening all. Pleasure to be here and a pleasure to for the Hall of Fame committee to invite me here. And how I was really invited, Mike Hopwood, one of my team players, he was supposed to be here. But he called me and asked me if I could stand in for him. I said, sure, I'll be happy to do that. And, Bill Armstrong was one of those coaches that, he had a lot of things going for him. And a lot of us in Compton, we wanted to play for that team, play for him on those teams. The 68 team started the championship playoffs, winning championships. And I was on the 69 team, and we had to continue that. There was 5 of us, and we all went to elementary school. We didn't get a chance to meet up again until high school in Compton High. And we got together, playing together. We knew each other's moves, where you're going to be, and the whole bit. And Bill just took a chance to let us go with it. So we ended up winning, 66 straight games back to back in 1968 and 1969. And Bill was one of those coaches that, everybody tried to make it on that team, but Compton had so many wonderful players that, it was his choice to pick those teams. And it was a pleasure for me to be on that team in 68. Bill was one of those coaches, he was really nice. He's a good, coach, of course. And his thing was discipline. And we all had that discipline, and he knew that. But he wanted to make sure. He wanted to make sure everybody on his team could read, write, and spell. So he had us spelling and writing and all that stuff. Because his dream was to get us all to go to college. And we all did go to college and graduate. But two things about Bill, he did laugh a lot, but one time we caught him laughing because we was running so hard in the gym. And so we said we was going to play a trick on him. So imagine this, we all got together in practice, and we said once the guy passed the ball to one of the guards and the defense, the offense run and set that pick, we was all going to fall on the floor. And we all, once one fell, everybody fell on the floor. We thought he liked it, but he didn't like that. He ordered us out of the gym, don't come back for 2 days. But, it was a good thing, but we apologize, and it gives me great pleasure to, pick up his award. And, we had a great time with it. And thank you. Thank you, Ronaldo. Congratulations to Bill Armstrong. Coach John Wooden called Keith Erickson the best athlete he ever coached. The volleyball Olympian won 2 championships at UCLA and an NBA title with the Lakers. He was hoping to be here tonight, but his health won't allow him to travel. Representing Keith Erickson tonight is his good friend, Orion Bailey.
Thank you so much for coming out tonight. This means a lot to a lot of us in the room. I'd like to read something from Keith, my dear, dear friend. I'm honored to be a part of this year's illustrious group that has been inducted into the Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame. I wish I could be there in person, but I'm very well represented by my friend Orion Bailey, former basketball player himself. So many memories. Doesn't seem possible, but 60 years ago, I had the ultimate pleasure of playing for one of the greatest coaches ever, John Wooden. So many memories of my time with him while at UCLA, and for the next 45 years of his life. What a treasure in every way. And being able to play for over a decade in the NBA, 5 of those years with the Los Angeles Lakers, my hometown team. That's right. On top of that, having 3 players who you may know on my own back. Little guys like Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, and the littlest of all, Will Chamberlain. It doesn't get any better than that. And then after retiring, getting to broadcast Laker games for 8 years with one of the best play-by-play men ever, the great Chick Hearn. My wife said that was the quietest time of my life because all I had to say every night was, "That's right, Chick." But it was a fabulous job. Sitting next to the man who taught Southern California the game of basketball through his bird's eye view. And 2 individuals tonight that I must mention. First, Nicole Erickson. Nicole. My namesake, he says. I can't tell you how many times I was congratulated on my daughter's great abilities. On the basketball court, and as much as I wanted to take credit for it, I reluctantly said she was not related to me. I'm so happy for you to be honored tonight. Congratulations. And second, for one of my close friends, the late Paul Westfall, who has already been inducted here. I'm still in shock he's not with us anymore. Young, strong, brilliant as a player, as a coach. He was very special to me. So many memories. So in closing, thank you. This is a wonderful organization. It has incredible memories to all of us. Our young times as athletes, playing the game that we loved. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you, Ryan. That was a great tribute to Keith Erickson. Candace Williams is one of the greatest players in California history, with a dominating career at La Jolla Country Day, then multiple Final Fours at Stanford, and a long WNBA career. She's now moved into the coaching fraternity and is the head coach of the Spire Academy in Ohio, which is why she isn't here tonight. Accepting for her is her brother, Alan Wiggins. Here comes Alan.
Hi, how you doing? Just want to thank the committee for honoring her. It's a big pleasure because all of the names on this list are all legends, and she's had a legendary high school career and college career and professional career. But one thing that I remember, we went to Stacy Altman NYC's and is here, his basketball camp in 7th grade, and she won MVP of that camp, and she got Damon Stoudemire's signed basketball shoes when he was with the Raptors for getting MVP of that camp. So it's crazy that she's getting honored with next to Stacy Altman's name. So yeah, it's really cool. So I just want to thank the committee for honoring us. Me and my sister were very close, so this means a lot to me, this means a lot to her. She probably just would want to thank all our coaches, anybody that was involved in her life. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Alan. Paul Pierce, we've all heard of him. He was a high school legend in Inglewood, college All-American in Kansas, and an NBA Hall of Famer as a champion with the Boston Celtics. Paul couldn't make it. He has a wedding commitment. I don't know if it's his or a friend's. And accepting for Paul is local high school club coach Jason Crow.
First of all, I would like to say another congratulations to all our honorees tonight. This is a beautiful program that's been put together by the committee, so we're grateful. And I also want to give a very special acknowledgement to my brother Kriston Johnson back there. That's my favorite player, so I'm going to say that on the mic right now. In 1994, he was a terrorizer, so I'm glad that you're here, brother. I want to share a story for Paul before I read just a couple of thank yous and I'll be down. Me and Paul started. I had the honor too to bring him into the Naismith Hall of Fame. I put the jacket on him. It's been the greatest honor of my life in basketball. But the one thing about Paul is that me and him, we became friends because we showed up my sophomore year in his ninth grade year at 7 o'clock at school to check that varsity list because we didn't know if we was going to be on it, right? So we both were the first ones there at school. And the day before that practice, me and him made a bond to pass to only each other so we both can make the team. And so I guess we did good, so now we up here today. So we made the team and we was on the list. All right, on behalf of Paul Pierce, I appreciate the committee and all those responsible for organizing this event, for recognizing my accomplishments, which started on the playground and culminated in the National Basketball Association. I would not be recognized today if it was not for the love and support of my mother, Lorraine Hosey, my older brothers, Jamal and Steve Hosey, my high school coach, Patrick Roy, AAU coach, Thaddeus McGrew, and Inglewood police officer, Scott Collins. Thank you to all my teammates and everyone who pushed me at Rogers Park in Inglewood. I'm blessed to be here.
Thank you, Jason. Here's a famous name, Dwayne Poley Sr. had perhaps the greatest individual performance in LA City Section basketball history. Back in 1981, he scored 43 points in the championship game for Manual Arts, and his coach Reggie Morris against Crenshaw before a record crowd of, if you can believe this, 14,000 at the sports arena. Of course, Dwayne went on to star at Pepperdine, as we all know. Then went on to play professional and also coach. Unfortunately, Dwayne's a little under the weather, so he's not here. But we have another Dwayne Poley Jr. who could leap. I think he had a 45-inch vertical when I saw him play. So here's Dwayne Poley II and his 45-inch vertical leap to talk about Dad.
I just want to say congratulations to everybody. Thank you to the committee for selecting my dad. You know, growing up, I heard all about the 43-point game. Every turn I went, grocery store, the park, anywhere I played, you know, I had high expectations, and you know, he always humbled me and you know, told me just to love the game and it'll love me back. So I love him for that, and I just want to thank the committee again on his behalf, and thank you all you guys for coming out. Thank you.
I am Reggie Morris, and I'm here to also support Dwayne and Dwayne II. Just to say that Dwayne Sr. was a great player, as we have so many people here that are just great players. And so he would really appreciate being in the company of so many great people. One of the greatest competitors that I've ever seen. Despite the fact that he was only in high school, his competitive level was just off the charts. To score 43 points on 17 shots, he missed 2 shots in the entire game, made 1 shot falling down on the floor. The biggest concert that I thought, remember from that game is in the first play of the game, Dwayne took a charge. He led the state in scoring average in 32, but the first play, he took a charge. I've coached a lot of guys, and most of my scorers never want to take 1 charge, let alone in the biggest game they played against. So Dwayne would be proud to be here. Thank you guys so much for supporting him. Thank you to all of you. Congratulations on the honor reached today. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Willie Knowles, who was one of the first African-American players ever to be in the LA City section and be their player of the year. He went on to be a college All-American at UCLA and an NBA champion for the Boston Celtics, where he was also part of the first All-African-American NBA starting lineup. Accepting for Willie is his grandson, Jonathan Knowles.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry. I hope everybody is having a good time. My name is Jonathan Knowles, and I'm a senior at Santa Margarita Catholic High School. I'm here to accept the award on behalf of my grandpa, Willie Knowles, who, besides being a four-time NBA All-Star, part of the first all-African-American team for the Boston Celtics, and being the African-American team captain, the first of any professional sport, Willie Knowles was my grandpa. Basketball fans from around the world have known Willie as winning 3 NBA championships with the Celtics, but I knew him as a man. He'd sit with me on Sundays listening to Ella Fitzgerald and Howlin' Wolf. Others were amazed by his stats. For instance, my grandpa held the all-time record with the Knicks of 30 or more points per game for a 7-game streak. He held that record for nearly 50 years until Amar'e Stoudemire broke that in 2010. While folks were blown away by his phenomenal achievements on the court, I was sitting with him at the dinner table talking about my favorite teachers and the latest video games. I'm so honored to be accepting this award on behalf of my grandpa. I never got a chance to see him play, but I was in awe of him for other reasons. He taught me the road to success is a narrow one. To love God and others. He taught me how to lead and how to serve. He taught me how to laugh and how to pray. I'll share what I believe he would be saying to you right now. He'd be saying, thank you for this wonderful honor. Thank you to Ann, his beautiful wife, and my grandma. Thank you to his family, his children, his grandchildren, who loved him and supported him through the years, and thank the Lord for many blessings you give daily for each of us. I really appreciated this time, and I hope you all have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you, Jonathan. And the sliding box trick, I like that. Bob Boyd, who was a stand-up player at USC, then a local high school coach, and a great college coach at First Seattle before becoming a Hall of Fame coach at USC. He's the only man that handed Coach John Wooden 2 losses at Pauley Pavilion. Interesting note. His son Bill could not be here today to accept for him, so accepting for Bob Boyd, another former USC head coach, Mr. Stan Morrison.
Because you can all read, I'll trust you to read his bio in your program, and I want to share 2 vignettes and then do a closing. Bob Boyd was a great communicator, and I was his assistant coach, and we were going on the road to play a doubleheader at Washington and Washington State. We had won both games and we're in the airport, and Bob was trying to stop smoking. And he said to me before we went on the trip, he said, listen, I'm not going to smoke at all, but I'm telling you, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, if you see me attempt to smoke, you're to stop me. No matter what I say, you are to stop me. I said, yes, sir. We're standing in line, ready to get into our flight to come home back to Los Angeles, and he said to me, Stan, come here. He said, see that machine there? I said, yes. There are cigarettes in that machine. I'm going to walk over there, I'm going to put the money in, a packet's going to come down, I'm going to grab that packet, and I'm going to unwind it, and I'm going to open it, and I'm going to take one cigarette, I'm going to put it in my mouth, I'm going to light it, and take 2 long drags, put it out, and throw all the cigarettes away. I said, no. He looked at me, he said, don't say no to me. I said, no. He starts to move, and I'm 6'8", and he's 6'8", and I get him in a bear hug, and he said, whoa. Wait a minute, it's past. I'm okay. He's a very determined man, and he trusted me to get us through it. I don't know how long he stopped smoking, but that was a great moment for me. Secondly, he was a controller. He was the only one to call a timeout. Players were not to call timeouts. We're playing in MacArthur Court at Oregon. And it's the second half, and we're playing right in front of our bench. And on offense, Dana Paget is a great player, and we had a great team. This team went 24-2, 3 All-American guards. Paget, Paul Westfall, and Mo Layton. And Dana is at the free throw line, and he bounced the ball, and he addressed the basket, and he turns, smiles, and looks at the official and says, timeout. And they come to the sideline. And we're standing in this particular timeout. And Bob said, what are you doing calling a timeout? I am the only one on this team that is to call timeouts. He said, Coach, I'm going to be the free throw champion in the Pac-8 conference. And I addressed the basket, and see that good-looking girl over there? I said, yeah. He said, she mooned me. He said, she what? She mooned me. So he said, okay, have you got your composure? He said, yeah, Coach, I'm going to knock these 2 down. I'm fine. But I didn't want to be distracted. So he went back, and the free throw line was right in front of our bench, and he's there, and he bounces the ball, and every single head on the team, coaches included, are checking out this good-looking gal who is holding her face beet red because she caused the player to call a timeout to regain his composure. Bob Boyd was a controller. Bob Boyd was a great coach, not a good coach. He was a great coach. He was an idealist, and he was so detail conscious, you can't believe it. There's so much that I can say about it, but I want to say this. I have an article that made the Los Angeles Times, and it was very well written, following with this tribute in the Times. Quote, Coach Boyd did what all great coaches do on the court and, more importantly, off the court, said former UCLA All-American Bill Walton, who played against Boyd's USA teams. Quote, the class act that he was able to pass that on to his players. It's a very sad loss. I was fortunate to play against such a great coach as Bob Boyd and his excellent teams. And Bob had one statement about the entire experience at USC. Right school, wrong time. Thank you.
A little high, he is 6'8". Lou Cianovich, maybe the only CIF coach in history who not only had multiple state basketball championship teams, but also won titles in football and baseball at Santa Clara High School. There is no one even close in Ventura County to Lou's lifetime records, including 829 wins. It's an amazing total. Excepting for Lou is his son Stacy, who, by the way, was on an NCAA championship team at UNLV back in 1990 when they beat Duke and Jay Billis 103-73. Jay went on that too. Is Lou Cianovich and his son Stacy here?
Good evening, everyone. It's a great evening. congratulations, first of all, congratulations to all of the honorees, and thank you to the committee for honoring our father, Lou Sianovich. Yes, my name is Stacy Sianovich. I'm the youngest of 8 Sianoviches. My sisters, Sue and Sherry, my brothers, Sam, Steve, Stan, Stu, and Scott. Right, all S's. Obviously, married to Martha Sianovich, our lovely mom. I too had the privilege of playing for my father in the early 80s. I would like to share with you our father's words that he wrote in a letter in appreciation on May 12th, 2012. My name is Louis Luca Sianovich. I was born in Jerome, Arizona, a copper mining town. I was raised with 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Like many of you, my family experienced an array of hardships, including separations, death, and social injustices. Yet, at the same time, I saw people in our community who cared, fostered hope, believed, supported one another through hardship, and provided opportunities so that others, too, could reach their dreams. While serving in our country during World War II, I was exposed to foreign countries and people who, too, struggle through adversity, yet at the same time, there were individuals who gave. Our father further writes, much like my life experiences, I've been fortunate to be involved with people in a community who supports young individuals to reach their dreams. Santa Clara High School, the many faculty, coaches, and the great athletes and students, it has been my honor to serve you. So while most of us use the word coach and it implies athletes, I can assure you that those who know me personally, I am and will always be one who cares, believes, inspires, will never give up, dreams with others, guides, and mentors. I am a teacher. I am a member of the community. I love Oxnard, California. I hope to continue to inspire others. Our father's legacy is his family. He passed away on November 24th, 2018. On his headstone, it reads, California's only coach to win CIF titles, 1 in baseball, 2 in football, and 23 in basketball. Personally, it was an honor playing for my father. I also want to do a shout out and congratulate both the legendary coach Jerry Tarkanian and the great Stacy Ogman. I had the privilege of participating and playing in 1990, and we won the national championship. So congratulations and thank you.
Jerry Tarkanian was a championship coach on every level, from high school to JC to college, and known as a great game innovator, with his career highlighted by that 1990 championship win for the Rebels. And being inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame wasn't bad either, and that happened for Jerry in 2013. His son Danny could not be here this evening, so to accept for the coach, relatives Terry McGrath and Rose Tarkanian McGrath.
My name's Tark. You guys can probably guess why I'm named Tark. Even though I wasn't alive for his coaching career, I've heard many good stories about him, and he's going to impact my life forever. And just I'm super grateful to accept this award for him. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The committee, thank you so much for inducting my great uncle. And yeah, thank you so much.
That was a quick 2 minutes. Freeman Williams was a long-range scoring machine who went from all-city player at Manual Arts to the second all-time college scorer at Portland State, only behind Pete Maravich. He had a solid pro career as well. He unfortunately passed away just last year. Accepting for Freeman is his brother, Ricky Williams, who had a wonderful football career at the University of Texas. No, that's a different Ricky Williams. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. You know, I had a story about my brother. All the years that we played together, and all the years that I, played one-on-one with him, I was managed to win one game from him. And I had to tell him that he had dog poop on his shoe. But Hall of Fame, Southern basketball, this is a great, great honor. I miss my brother, man, every day, but life goes on. And each and every one of you that receive this, you definitely deserve it. And I hope and pray that you guys get home safely, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Ricky. We would like Greg Lee's wife, Lisa, to come up and accept the honor. Greg Lee was an amazing passing point guard at Reseda High School in the Valley, then UCLA, playing with the great Bill Walton, who could not be here by tonight. He was supposed to be here but couldn't make it. Greg was part of 2 NCAA championship teams and set the NCAA championship record in assists. Greg went on to become a record-setting professional beach volleyball player and teacher. Unfortunately, Greg passed away about a year ago. So we'd like Lisa to accept for Greg. She'll speak first and take Bill's medallion back to San Diego for Bill Walton as well.
I grew up in a large academic family that didn't have a television, with parents who believed that sports were something you did outside with your friends in the street. So I wasn't much of a sports fan. But when I met Greg Lee, I knew I was in the presence of greatness, because he told me so. So I laughed too, but it was hard to argue with him, since besides being a great athlete, he was smart, funny, and handsome. He seemed to lead a charmed existence, though he never made it big in the pros. Whenever one door closed to him, another opened. He went seamlessly from basketball championships to beach volleyball fame, and later excelled in tennis and became a teaching pro. Between dominating on the beach and playing basketball in Germany, Greg was able to make a living playing sports until he was 31. Then he became a beloved high school math teacher and coached the basketball and tennis teams. His existence started to lose its charm after several injuries that resulted in operations, and we discovered after a botched back surgery that he had a failing aortic valve, had to have open heart surgery when he was only 46. From then on, his health deteriorated, and soon he was unable to play sports at all. Even walking became difficult. Yet with the same persistence and strong will that had driven him as an athlete, he was able to find joy in other things. Books, music, the mountains, his family, his friends. Through it all, and in spite of living with great physical pain, Greg never lost his sharp wit, sense of humor, and positive attitude. He was a wonderful husband and father. He was my best friend. When he passed away last September, many people wrote to me frustrated with the obituaries that mentioned his accomplishments, but never his essence. As one friend wrote, there are no statistics recorded for the 25-year overtime contest that was his life. It wasn't maximizing his abilities that is so awesome. It was how he competed with and how he lived with his disabilities that inspires. I'll end with a few words by someone I never met who sent him to me named Mike. I played with and against Greg for the better part of 4 years on a playground somewhere around Wilshire and 14th Street. Yep, could describe his game, talk about the occasional dust-up, maybe even the tattered UCLA shirt he wore, but that too would be a disservice. In brief, it was how Greg held court with a group of buddies after the game ended. It was loud, hinged with laughter, always a goodbye about seeing the fellas next week. Some lift rooms upon entrance, he lifted buildings. Greg always had flair, but more than that, he made others play beyond themselves, to believe they were the best. Why? Because they were playing with excellence in shoes. Thank you very much. I know he wished he would like to be here.
We move on to the individuals that are with us here tonight. Our next honoree was one of the greatest defensive players of all time and a winner from your high school to UNLV to the pros, where he had a 14-year career for the U.S. International. Pasadena area legend, Stacey Ogman.
Wow. I just want to thank the committee for getting me in the Southern California Hall of Fame. Kid from Pasadena, old snide-nosed kid from Pasadena, didn't know much, wasn't able to do too many things growing up because of the neighborhood that I grew up in. Went through a lot of adversity. One thing about it is that I worked hard. I worked hard on the court. I did a lot of things off the court. But one thing, true story, one thing that happened to me that was also a motivating factor, it was that after I got my scholarship from UNLV, there was one teacher at Mirror High School. He was actually betting students that he'll be back in 3 years. I guarantee you, 3 years. Right? So I heard about it. I was like, wow. And I tried to get in contact with him. So you talk about a motivating factor. It's one of the things that's very, very motivating to me, and I never will forget it. And I saw him. I saw him at a basketball game at Mirror. You know, one thing I didn't do, I went up to him. And I said, thank you. He's like, for what? I said, I heard about the bet. Wow, you know, he started, shaking. I said, oh yeah. I said, don't worry about this. There's nothing wrong. Don't worry about it. But I said, you know what? If I would have heard about that bet, and I was someone, and you would have told me the story of what Stacey Ogman was doing on and off the streets at that time, I would have bet it with you. Because I was going down the wrong path. But once again, I always come back to Coach Tarkanian. That gives a lot of his players a second chance, you know. And I also wanted to talk about one of the motivating factors, and a couple of my mentors I wanted to thank. Jaylen Brown, which is not with us now, and also Tim Gergwich, along with Jerry Tarkanian, was one of my great mentors. Last but not least, my wife. I have to thank my wife. You know, she's here with me. You know, we talk about someone that's been holding down me for years. You know, and I want to thank her. And last but not least is my daughter Journey. She's with me. And in fact, she's very, very, very special. One thing about Journey, and it's amazing. We have a total of 7 kids, and she was a gymnast all life. She was flipping, and she never wanted to do anything with basketball. And I had my boys. I had them all AAU teams. I had them all one up every weekend. My wife gave up a lot of part of her life, catered to the boys. And here goes Journey. Never played basketball. Her junior year, she said, "Dad, I want to play basketball." I'm like, "What?" You know, I was like, "Oh, wow, okay." So she ended up, you know, working out, and she also got a scholarship to play basketball at Willie Penn. You know, and I'm very, very honored. I'm very, very happy. She graduated this year in Willie Penn, and I just want to say you've been a blessing, along with all the other kids. And, once again, I was like, thank you for the night, thank you for the support.
Well, when you think of basketball, you think of Dr. J, right? Well, Jay Billis has had a special career in basketball, from Rolling Hills to Duke to professional basketball to college coaching to finishing his law degree now at ESPN as their lead color basketball announcer and an NCAA player advocate. Next up, Dr. J. Billis.
Thank you. In 1980, I was a junior in high school at Rolling Hills High School in the South Bay near Los Angeles, and we played in the Lakewood Holiday Classic. My team won the tournament. I was a leading scorer and rebounder in the tournament. When they handed out the MVP award, it didn't go to me. So in the car on the way back home, I sat in the back seat with my mom and dad, and I voiced my opinion on the selection of the most valuable player of the Lakewood Holiday Tournament. And midway through my impassioned speech on what the right thing would have been, my dad said, "Will you shut up?" And then said, "Someday you're going to get an award you have no business getting, and then you'll be even." Tonight's the night. I was fortunate to grow up in Southern California, as most of us, if not all of us, were. And one of the great things about growing up in Southern California was the people that you had the opportunity to really idolize. And for me, so many of them are in this room. I grew up idolizing Marcus Johnson and David Greenwood at UCLA. Had the honor of playing against Dwayne Poley at Manual Arts High School when he played for the Watts Magicians. We played against one another, played against each other in college. So it's a unique honor for me to be here. But I'm even more honored that my family is here and my high school teammates are with me. My sister Cheryl, who played volleyball at UCLA, is the best athlete in our family, smartest, everything. My brother Dave, who I idolized growing up as a person and an athlete. And my wife Wendy is with me and has been for the last 31 years. But my high school teammates and great friends of mine, Steve Howard, Jim Denver, Steve Hines are with me. And I want to thank all of them for being here, even if they did show up in protest of my induction. It's still nice to have them here. But it's a thrill to be back home in Southern California. I always consider this home. And congratulations to all the inductees, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Not have been the best athlete in the family, but he's certainly the best looking in the family. That didn't go over well. Okay. Our next inductee has been involved with basketball for over 40 years as the best high school small school player at Oakwood to a UCLA standout career. He was great there with long NBA success as well. He's now doing well in sports management. Mitchell Butler.
Good evening, everyone. 2019, I got a call from Michael Sonheimer about being on the committee for the Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame selection. And I told him, listen, I'd be honored to do it. I thought it was pretty cool. And as we started to go through the process, and we started to see the list of athletes, coaches, writers, people who were involved with the game of basketball in Southern California, I felt really honored. And I was like, gosh, how can I figure out a way to get myself onto this Hall of Fame? So I managed to sneak several votes in for myself and figured it out and was able to now get myself up here. But I will say this, congratulations to all of the other inductees. There are a few people that I'd like to thank who were very instrumental in my life in basketball. Number one being a gentleman named Harold Happy Hairston, who was the starting power forward of the Lakers' first championship team here in 1972. Had a basketball camp in Westminster that he brought a lot of underprivileged kids in, and I happen to be one, having grown up in Inglewood. I remember Michael Cooper coming to the camp, speaking to us. I remember growing up in my neighborhood, Dwayne Poley's brother, we called him Tweet. Tweet Poley was probably the guy who really got me excited about playing basketball. I remember watching Marcus Johnson growing up. Just so many people had an impact on me moving forward in basketball. That's the one great thing about this game, is that we have an opportunity to learn from people who are before us, an opportunity to give to the game as we were walking out the door. So many great people here that were amazing. I'd like to thank my high school coach, Roz Goldenberg, who was the first female high school basketball coach for boys varsity basketball team in the United States. Pushed me really hard, challenged me, made me do more than everyone else on my team, because she recognized that there was something a little bit different in me. Last but not least, my parents. Mom and Dad couldn't be here, but they did for me everything that a parent would do for a child, sacrificed a lot of different things, and really pushed me to be not only a good basketball player, but to try to be a great person. So I want to thank you guys. Congratulations to all the other inductees, and have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Well, this next gentleman you remember because his career highlight was tonight as a bidder. He bid on the Laker material, and he's a former great Laker. Obviously from Showtime, Lakers won championships, great defensive player from Pasadena City College, went on to New Mexico, he's been a great coach, WNBA coach, but as a bidder, he is second to none. Here he comes, he's about to begin another job at Cal State LA. But he was great here tonight, Michael Cooper.
What do you mean I don't want my package? I paid $400 for that. First of all, giving glory and honor to God. I just want to thank the Southern Cal Hall of Fame and all the rest of the recipients tonight. This has been a very, very special time. I want to thank my lovely wife, Yvonne, being here with me and being supportive. Growing up in Pasadena, California, north of the 110 freeway, all we heard about was city basketball. We heard about the late, great Freeman Williams, Marcus Johnson. David Greenwood, where you at? Stand up, raise your hand. Wood over there. All I heard growing up was this guy named Roy Hamilton and David Greenwood at Verdant Day. And I was at Pasadena High School. We could never ever beat them. But Stacy, we showed them we could play basketball in Pasadena, right? Again, this is truly an honor, unexpected, and I'm enjoying it. I love to see everybody here. It's just been a wonderful time for me. Now that basketball is over with, I'm enjoying my life even more. So it's good to see a lot of you old guys, because y'all are kind of round and bald like me now, and we're still here. Thank you everyone for having me.
Thank you, Michael. Nicole Erickson put Brea Olinda High School on the national map, winning state titles with her amazing three-point shooting and winning 96% of her games. Then she led Duke to its first NCAA finals. She's also been a successful coach, now living in Florida. Nicole Erickson.
All right, Mr. Bailey, I don't know where you are, but I want to, if you can send a message to the other Keith Erickson, other than my real dad, please let him know that I too was asked many times, is your dad the UCLA great Keith Erickson? And I was saying, no, he's not. But it was really nice, so please send that message to him that I received those same messages many times. I need this to be shorter. All right. First of all, I'd like to thank the committee. This is a huge honor for me, and my family and friends, everybody. I'd like to thank my family and friends that are here at table 7 over there. I love you guys. I'd like to thank my teammates because, as we all know, individual accolades don't come without your team. And the team we had at Brea, what's special about us is that everybody had a role. We had like the mastermind, amazing coach, Coach Mark Track, and it just everybody worked together and everybody did what they were supposed to, and that's what made us so great. And just you can't do anything without your teammates. I'd like to really thank my parents and my family, my brothers and sisters. They sacrificed a lot, and a lot of times I was the one that achieved everything because of their support. They were my #1 team, so thank you to you for that. And then I'd like to talk about sacrifice, because when you're a kid, when you're playing a team and you have to miss parties because you're waking up early and you feel you're so disciplined and dedicated and you're sacrificing. I think when you become a parent and you're the one that's driving your kid all over the place, waking up early after a long week at work, then sacrifice really starts to mean something for you. So it makes me appreciate my family even more. I'd like to also talk about how lucky I've been and fortunate to have really amazing coaches throughout my career. Hall of Famers, Lynn Dunn, Gail Gessenkors. I think Coach Track should be a Hall of Famer as well. And then one of the toughest coaches that I've ever had was my dad, my first coach. So I thank him from the bottom of my heart, always being there for me and pushing me to be, knowing the buttons to push to make me go outside and spend hours working on my own because I wanted to prove him wrong. So thank you for that. Gosh, I don't know why I had to follow Michael Cooper, who I used to Showtime. This is amazing for me. So there's so many people here that I watched growing up as a Southern California kid. So I hope everyone has a great night, and thank you again to the committee, and that's it.
Here's a name we've heard a lot about tonight, David Greenwood. Let's hear it. Won titles as both the player and head coach at Vernon Day. Also dominated during his UCLA career, led him to the College Basketball Hall of Fame, and his long NBA career, which was highlighted by an NBA championship. David Greenwood.
First of all, I'd like to thank the committee for putting me in the Hall of Fame. But most of all, I'd like to thank my teammates. I've been here for quite a while, and Marcus Johnson, I got Lorenzo Romar, I got all these guys, Michael Cooper, guys that I played with and against for years. But from a boy that came from Compton, played in Watts, we had a little small Catholic school called Urban Day, about 320 boys. We had probably the greatest basketball program in Los Angeles. We had Lewis Brown, Raymond Lewis, Roy Hamilton, great players. Andre Miller just left earlier. But what I really want to thank is my former coach, George McQuarrie, who is not here, God rest his soul. John Sneed, my high school coach. But I was also blessed to have a teammate named Roy Hamilton, that without Roy I couldn't have done half the things that I did in my career. But I was also blessed to turn around and coach at Virginia and win 2 CIF championships and 2 state championships. That means as much to me as anything else. Although my mom and dad could not be with us because they're upstairs looking down, I have my 2 beautiful children that took their place, and they're here to represent their grandma and their grandpa. Once again, Mike Sonheimer, I want to thank you, brother. You've been with me since I got to UCLA in the trash can. You remember all that trash can stuff. But I just want to tell you thank you. Marcus Johnson, my captain, always.
Next is Ebony Hoffman, who led Narbonne to a national championship, went on to a magnificent career at USC, followed by being a first-round WNBA draft pick, now a pro coach. My former analyst, I worked with her, Ebony Hoffman. People say I need an analyst, a good one too.
They only hired me to give you a little bit of help, that's all. Thank you for the committee for this amazing honor, and congratulations to all the other honorees. I have an immense amount of gratitude right now because I have 2 former teammates that are no longer here that I played with on those national championship teams. And I'm 41 years old, so they were pretty young. It's just a real moment for me. I have an immense amount of gratitude to those who supported me on my journey, and I will forever honor the roots that held me up, in particular my mom, who's here today, Marcia, and my dad, who's not around right now. But then also my family, my extended family, Alvin and Eddie Rambo, Dr. Eddie Rambo. My cousins, Doris and Jerry, thank you for always showing up for me. My husband, who continues to ride this wave with me of coaching all over the world. We're on 3 passports together, and we continue to share these memories with our daughter, my 7-year-old. So, baby girl, you can do whatever you want to do, just know that, right? And to the guy who lit my fire, 96, Coop, I remember sitting in the stands, watching the sparks, man, and that lit my fire. That put gasoline on everything I wanted. And I appreciate you, brother, for just taking that team, doing it more than once or twice, going to high school, coming back to the league, always pouring into us. And just to see someone like you do it at a high level and do it with so many grand personalities on that team. Good Lord, bro. I'm a pro coach now, and it's kind of like in the middle of 2 eras. Because there's one that's still around. I coach Sue Bird and Brianna Stewart, and then you got who's up and coming right now. You've got Jordan Horston, and you've got those who are coming out right now. And so, just the different spectrum of personalities and needs. I mean, I'm over here trying to dice it up and slice it up how I can and figure it out without pushing the wrong button, as you know in pro coaching. So, thank you to everybody who's been here and who's around. To the committee, thank you for everything, and thank you, Randy. Nice to see you. Thank you.
Probably the greatest female player ever at Crenshaw High School, power forward. Went on to Cal State Fullerton, led the Titans to their only NCAA tournament victory. Went on to play pro basketball, now a college coach and a wonderful role model, Eugenia Miller.
Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame Selection Committee, thank you for this great honor. You know, a couple of days ago, my youngest daughter and I were recently talking about mental health and high-performing athletes, and how crazy it is to think about how the typical person, let's say, who has depression, may not get out of bed, off the couch, out of their house. But for high-performing athletes who may experience depression, they are expected to perform night after night, over and over again. They have to get out of bed. They have to get off the porch, off the couch, and onto that court or field or wherever it may be. They have to do it. And just what it takes for them to be able to accomplish that and still perform at a high level. Some are successful at coping and are still able to perform, while others turn to drugs, violence, etc. And some get the help they need. I want to say my thank yous to those who were there when I needed a hand up. They are truly the reason why I'm here today. To God for grace and ordering my steps to link up with the right coaches, team members, and mentors best suited for me. I am truly in a great place as a result. Coach Reginald Johnson, Coach Daly, and Coach Moody from New Brunswick High School in Jersey, where my basketball journey began. You saw I needed a way out and gave me basketball and track. To Coach Dennis and Coach Flowers at Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles, a perfect balance of military discipline and tough love. May you both rest in peace. Coach Jeremiah and Coach Kearney at Cal State Fullerton, forever indebted to both of you. I could be here forever thanking both of them. Teammates at all levels, I truly formed lifelong friendships. Coaches on my team in Japan and in the WNBA for the Los Angeles Sparks, Julie Russo, Orlando Woolridge, Colleen Masahara, and Steve Smith. Thanks for taking a chance on me. The WNBA platform has allowed me to be able to speak into the lives of people this day. It has allowed me to be able to share with them that God loves them and has a purpose for their life. Pastor Diane Gardner for her mentorship and godly wisdom. Healing truly took place in my life. Last but not least, my family, my brothers, Ernest and Isaac Miller, my dad who was here, Ernest Miller Sr., my children, Maya, Richie, and Janelle, my mom, Edna, stepmom, Charlene, love you both dearly, rest in heavenly peace, and the Tollivers, my fam located all around the world. I love my family for life. Now the term suck it up, buttercup, and get it together may have had its place, but is no longer working for student athletes today. They need coping and life skills. So as a way to give back to the community, we're working with youth speaking engagements, and with the recent assistance of Ms. Capsine Holmes at the table, who handles equity, diversity, inclusion, and corporate responsibility contracts, I'm getting the word out about how necessary coping strategies and life skills for youth, student athletes, and young adults learn today can truly save lives today, not just tomorrow. Thanks again for this great honor. Such a pleasure.
Is the mic back? It is. All right. Thank you, Eugenia. This gentleman is a Compton Dominguez legend. He had a wonderful career at the University of Kentucky, an NBA champion with the Pistons, and a long career. And maybe the most special thing for him is he won an Olympic gold medal as well. That was in Beijing in 2008. Now an executive for the Memphis Grizzlies, Tayshaun Prince.
want to say thank you to all the inductees. Thank you, but also, congratulations, but also a thank you. And the reason why I say thank you is because you achieved greatness, and everybody that came behind you had the opportunity to see that. And I'm including myself in that situation because I had the opportunity to watch Michael Cooper, Stacey Augmon, Mitchell Butler, Chris Johnson, Andre Miller, Paul Pierce. These were the guys that I continued to watch as I was growing up and saw the greatness in them. And I knew I had an opportunity because I always watched them all the time and saw their path. So I want to say a special thanks to them, but no disrespect to the other nominees. Thanks to my family, my parents who couldn't be here today, my brother and sister, my wife, my son, they couldn't be here. Thanks to my father-in-law who was here on my wife's behalf. Thanks to my brother Patrick for being here. Thanks to my partner in crime, Zach McClyman, who's the president of the Grizzlies, who's given me an opportunity to build this one-day championship team in Memphis. So thank you for coming out. But special thanks to all my teammates at each and every level of career, level that I played, whether AAU, high school, middle school, college, pro. Thanks to all the coaches. Thanks for instilling all the good things and the things that you really value and trying to become the best person that you can be. This is obviously a gratifying moment for many reasons, but one, I'll say this, because when I was coming out of college and going into the NBA draft, I was always compared to Stacey Augmon and Michael Cooper. And I get it, obviously you guys can understand why, because we all built the same. But I was always compared to them, always compared to them. And even when I worked out with the Lakers, Mitch Kupchak interviewed me and he was like, asking me questions about toughness and stuff like this. And he was like, yeah, we had a guy by the name of Michael Cooper that played for us. He was one of the strongest, skinniest guys on the court I've ever met. But he was talking to me like I didn't know who Michael Cooper was. I know what he's talking about, Mitch. But this is a great, obviously, opportunity to be in the room with you guys. Once again, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. Once again, everybody have a great night. Thanks.
Do we have a boom operator here? That would help. A standout player in junior college, then a tremendous guard at Washington, then he went into coaching, top coach at Washington and Pepperdine, now still with the Waves, the head coach of Pepperdine, Lorenzo Romar.
Well, a little bit overwhelming, humbling, but I too want to thank Mike Sonheimer and the Southern California Hall of Fame Committee for the recognition and providing a place for me. This is really, really special for me. I grew up in Compton as well, in Nolan Brown. Where are you? Nolan? Man. Ludus Park. Wilson Park, Gonzalez Park. Your teams help inspire me, gave me a love for this game. Your former teammates, Larry Hollifield, Louis Nelson, Biff Burrell, the Womack brothers. You just don't know. Just don't know. Really appreciate you. There are a number of names that have been mentioned over and over again. Marcus Johnson, Michael Cooper, David Greenwood, the late Freeman Williams, and I'm going to name another one, Rich Branning. Even though I'm now friends with all of them and all of you, my 14 to 18-year-old mind still sees you as these incredible superstars that I looked up to, even though we were pretty close in age. didn't matter. It seemed like y'all had supernatural abilities compared to mine at the time. And I still see you in that light. I want to thank Jim Herrick, who gave me my opportunity to coach Division I basketball and to go on. I want to thank my wife, back there, Leona, and our oldest daughter, Tara. Tavia and Taylor aren't here, who put up with me when I was gone all the time coaching and would sit up and watch film and sometimes probably critique my coaching too much, to tell you the truth, but to be right there, support us. I have two guys from high school, one that we've been riding together all this time, one who's Southern California high school great coach in his own right, Michael Lynch, who's back there, and then also Mark Woods, who we've just been knowing forever. And finally, who I currently work for, our athletic director at Pepperdine, Steve Potts, over here, and my staff, Curtis Allen, Gerald Brown, Ken Bone, who made the trip out here. I am completely overwhelmed, and Jay Billis talked about breaking even, about something maybe you know in the world. I thought I'd be here receiving the same reward as some of y'all. Thank you very much.
Willie West Jr., already in the Cal State Los Angeles Hall of Fame, but we all know him as one of the great coaches in the history of the LA City section in Crenshaw, where he won 16 LA City titles, which is the most ever, won numerous state championships as well. 16 city titles. Willie West Jr. He's a legend.
It's a pleasure to be here. Just last night I had my 83rd birthday, and talk to you about my outstanding career at Crenshaw High School. At one time I wanted to, and the guys that played in Pasadena, I wanted to be a coach at John Muir High School, I think. And that's what I did my student teaching. And Anderson Junior High, which is also in Pasadena. But the good Lord had another plan for me. And I ended up at John Muir Junior High in LA. I didn't get John Muir Pasadena, but I got John Muir LA. And I used to pass Crenshaw High when they were building it. And I was driving on 8th Avenue on my way to John Muir Junior High, and I said, I'm going to teach at that school one day. And little did I know I'm going to spend 37 years of my life there. So I just want to say to the good Lord, thank you for making that decision for me, because I was headed in another direction, and He saw fit to bring me to Crenshaw High School. I wasn't going to talk too much, but I listened to other guys and people, and they said some of the things that I think people should know that don't know me, but they know of me. And I had a great career at Crenshaw High, and little did I know, when I became coach at Crenshaw High, I wasn't asked to be coach. One day it was in the summer, about a week to go before school started, and the football team was practicing because they had a game on that Friday, the first week of school. So I said, let me go up and watch the football team practice. And the kids came to meet me at the gate, and they said, you're going to be the coach. I said, I'm already a coach. I was a B&C basketball coach and JV baseball coach. They said, no. You're going to be the head basketball coach. And I said, no, I'm not. They said, yes, you are. And so I was never really asked to be the basketball coach until after school started. But I was told I was going to be the coach by the students. And so little did I know about that. Then when I found out that I was going to be the coach, and I had a big meeting with the team, players were coming in and players who were already there. And the only thing, after I had that big meeting, the only thing they were worried about at that time, big Afro haircuts were in, and all they was worried about was they going to make them cut their hair. And I said, I didn't have time to be fooling with your hair, but you are going to keep it neat. It's not going to be all over the place. And so they agreed to that. And little did I know that being a first-year coach, I had never been an assistant. I had never sat on the bench of a varsity coach. And I ended up being 17-1. In LA City Schools, you could only play 18 games, no matter what you did. But I ended up playing some of the top teams in LA City. And I played in the Western League, what my team did. Played in the Western League. You know, we had University, Palisades, Hamilton, Westchester, and all those guys. And I used to get a phone call once the playoffs started. I get phone calls that said, you guys haven't played any basketball. You played in that weak Western League. I said, weak? And they said, yeah, you played in the West, but come over where that real basketball is played. And they were talking about Manuel and Fremont and Jordan. And I said, Fremont? I said, okay. And they ranked us number 6 in the playoffs. And lo and behold, we ended up playing top schools. We ended up playing Jefferson. We ended up playing Jordan. And I said, wow. But we beat them. And I said, we was that weak Western League. We beat this tough Southern League. And then we won the championship my first year as a freshman coach. I mean, I never coached varsity basketball in my life. And I was the B&C basketball coach, and I was JV baseball coach. And here I am walking up on campus, week before school started, say, you're going to be varsity basketball coach. And I said, wow, I don't know much. I only know a couple of things. And I said, well, we're going to do that. And we did that very well. And but people didn't know, I had 5 of those guys in junior high school. So they really knew me. It wasn't like they'd never seen me before. But we managed to put it together. And we ended up winning the championship my very first year. And I said, wow, that was something. So I said, I was hearing stuff, and they were saying, well, that wasn't your coach, that was the other coach. That wasn't your team, that was the other team coach's team. And I said, well, you didn't know those guys. And I said, okay. So I'm from Houston, Texas, by the way. And I played at Jack Yates High School. And I was on 3 state baseball championships. And I was pretty good. I thought that was what I was going to make my livelihood at. But it didn't work out that way. So I went to Texas and I said, I'm just studying to show the people that wasn't a mistake, because I didn't want them looking for another coach. You know, but they really didn't take time to pick me. They just said, you're going to be the coach. And I look at these guys around here, all the guys from Urban Day, Magna Art, that did this program, Henry Poley, not Henry Poley, but Dwayne Poley. And I listened to Bobby Knight. And I think, you know, even though Poley was a great player, one of the most respected player in LA City Schools. And I said, but he said he never played a zone. And I listened to him, and I didn't play a zone. And boy, did I get a whipping. You know, but he still brags about that one game, you know, that he had all those points. And I'm standing there trying to play him man-to-man, but I should have went to the zone. But you know, that's one of the moments of my life. And I have a note here. You know, I had some good coaches, assistant coaches, but I won championships before they came. But I'd like to give homage to Joe Weekly, Maurice Duckett, Charlie Rogers. Those were some of the guys who were my coaches. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Jeff Johnson, he never considered himself a coach, he was just an advisor. So, you know, that was a good thing. I have a lot of players here, you know, those guys who played varsity for me, or BMC or whatever. Will you stand up, please, those guys who played for me? And one of those guys who stood up took my place, and that was Edward Waters over there. He's not standing up, he's shy, he's not shy, but anyway, he took my place as a replacement. Okay, one of the other things, in 1985, we were playing, we had just won our league, and we were practicing for the LA City Championship, and a guy named Coach Brown came from USA Committee, and I didn't know who he was, and he came to the door, knocked on the door, and he says, I let him in, and he says, I'm here for this committee. We're looking for a team to represent the United States in Europe. And he said, we're looking at several teams, and you're one of them. At that time, in the league, we had averaged 113 points a game in 32-minute quarters. So he said, but you have to win, and he put pressure on me, on the team. He said, you have to win the city championship, and you have to win the state. That was 8 more games we had to win before they considered us. And fortunately, we did win. We won the city, and he said, we're still considering the other teams, a team from Washington, D.C., and someplace else. And then we ended up winning the state up in Oakland. On a buzzer shot, my center, who always thought he should play forward, not center, but I had set up a play for my shooting guard to get the play. They double teamed him, and he couldn't get the ball, so he ended up throwing it to my center, who took a one bounce dribble to the baseline and hit a jumper that put us up by 1 point. We were playing Bishop O'Dowd that's up in the Sacramento area. And so we're Oakland area rather, and we ended up winning that. We had a history over there. Nobody believed it at the time that we said it, but we ended up playing Cyprus and Ireland. We scored. They played international rules, and they used 20-minute running times, 20-minute stop time, international rules. And the first game, we played Ireland, and we scored 191 points. And we almost had 100 points at halftime. And I didn't play the starters the last 10 minutes of the game. So, and my substitute said, Coach, we never played this many minutes before. So I said, well, I can't put the starters back in because we have 2 in the lead. So, and that morning we played Ireland, and the coach, they was 42-0 at the time. And they told me, I didn't see him, they told me he went to the pub and he had a great time at the pub. And, you know, in Ireland they go to the pub. They call it a bar over here. But we had to play again that evening. That was in the morning, that morning game. And we played again that evening. We played Cyprus, which is a country near Greece. And we scored 198 points that evening. So, and again, we had the first game. I had an eerie feeling about trying to score 200 points, and then I said with the second game, I said, well, maybe we can score 200 points. But I didn't play the seniors again the last 10 minutes of the game. So that was one of the things that highlighted my career. I have here something that probably hasn't been done, maybe it has. 2 players, father and son, who played for Crenshaw, and they both ended up being, not in the same year, of course, here at LA City School Player of the Year. Marcus Johnson and Christian Johnson. I was named the first, probably father-son, LA City Players of the Year. And, oh, I forgot one thing, and I need to say this before I go on. My wife, Denise, is over there. You didn't mention my name. All right, so I'm going to get that out of the way. All right, Crenshaw, very fortunate. I was very fortunate to have players to come to Crenshaw. We also had a lot of players to leave Crenshaw to go because they said the program was too rough. We did too much, and they didn't feel like they should have to do that. So I won't name their name, but you know, some great players did leave Crenshaw to go to other schools to play. And so they didn't just all come to Crenshaw, they did leave. As you mentioned, we won 28 league championships. We won 8 state championships. And every time we went to up north, we went 8 times, and we won it 8 times. And we're the only school in LA City Schools to win 5 LA City championships consecutively. And so that was another thing. I had 12 LA City Players of the Year. 2 of the players won it twice. Steve Thompson, who ended up going to Syracuse, and I think he did coach up at Oregon State last year. I don't know if he's still there or not. And John Williams, who also in '83 and '84 was the Player of the Year. Now I look at Sean and David Greenwood, and I have a story over there about a Pasadena player. We played Pasadena, not Michael. The other one, Michael, was gone. But got me kicked out of the game over there because they were about to get into a fight. He and one of my other players, and my player was guarding him, and he elbowed him in the stomach. So my other kid was about to retaliate, and I jumped up to say, "Don't do it." And we had an altercation with the referee. The scorekeeper didn't keep the score stats right. On a jump ball. My stack says, "Your ball next." So I called the official to tell him, and he gave me a tap. And then I jumped up to stop what was about to happen. One official was coming to the bench to report me, give me a tech, and the other official was going to get the ball, and they didn't see what was about to happen. And I jumped up and said, "Don't do it," and he gave me a tech. And then he said, "Don't get off the bench again." So I got up, swatted. I didn't get up, I swatted. Called a player to go in, and he gave me another tech. So I had 3 techs. I had to lead the game. But we still won the game. My assistant coach, he's not like me. He's not soft-hearted. He believed he wanted to score up. But anyway, we did that. But I just want to say some of the greatest players ever to play this game came out of Southern California. And I fortunate I played against a lot of them, and they've been very, very good games. And I appreciate the committee for considering me as a Hall of Famer, and I'm glad to do it. And I'm glad they saw fit to have me do it, and I was glad that I was able to come. I came from Arizona to be here, and I'm just happy to see some of the guys that I hadn't seen for a long time. I used to watch this play with the Detroit Pistons on TV, and so that, I said, I know that guy, David Greenwood. He was always humble, very humble guy, and I appreciate that too. I'm going to be quiet because I've overshot my time.
amazing how much information you can pack into 2 minutes. Speaking of Crenshaw High School, Marcus Johnson. When you talk about maybe the greatest player in the history of the LA City section, maybe Dwayne Foley, certainly Marcus Johnson is in the conversation. Goes on to UCLA, he helps the Bruins and John win his final championship. His Coach Wooden's final title, Marcus was a big part of that. Then he goes on, after his two sons had careers at UCLA, he has a magnificent career with the Milwaukee Bucks, one of the top 75 players in NBA history. Still working with the Bucks as a broadcaster. I've known him for a long time. Great guy. He'll do at least 15 to 20 minutes. Marcus Johnson. That's a tough act to follow.
All right, how's everybody doing? Good, good. What an honor, and special honor to follow my coach at Crenshaw. And I owe him so much in terms of my development as a player, as a person. And let me just say this, let me start by saying this. Crenshaw, we've been through a lot. He mentioned the current coach over there, Ed Waters. Ed Waters, wave at the people, please. Thank you very much. Ed Waters and I have been best friends since like 7th grade at Alabama Junior High School. Played together at Crenshaw, won a city championship together. His mother, Maxine Waters, was a campaign manager for David Cunningham. She would get the basketball team and campus to the neighborhood and hand out flyers and all that. Just great energy. And so Ed's been coached there for 16, 17 years now, won a couple of city championships, but a lot happened. Had a player, Quincy Reese, that got shot and killed in June. His assistant coach, Dwayne Franklin, Frosty Mack. A lot of you LA people that have been around LA basketball, you know Frosty Mack with the long dreads. Good friend of Daryl Strawberry's. He passed away. They had his homegoing last week. John Williams was mentioned as a two-time City Player of the Year. He's going through some serious health challenges. My point guard, Robert Smith, who played at UNLV, Tark's first Final Four team, Pookie, he had a stroke about 4 or 5 years ago. Saw him at our 50th reunion. He's doing better, but still challenging. So pray for Crenshaw High School. We're going through a lot, but I give a lot of credit to Ed Waters, just standing in the gap, being in the front lines. He was there in the 90s when my son Chris won a couple of state championships, so I just wanted to acknowledge that. Johnson contingent, wave your hand. Let's see the Johnson contingent. Everybody from sons to sisters, to in-laws, to nephews, nieces, the whole shebang. It's about probably 25 to 27 people that showed up. This is what it would be like when I played at Sportsman's Park. Now, Jesse Owens Park when I'm 10 years old. It'd be like 20 people coming in to see me play. Talk about embarrassing. Everybody's like, who's all the people? Like, it's my family. You know, the cousins and everybody. That's the kind of support that I got growing up. And it was a beautiful thing. You know, I didn't appreciate it then. It was embarrassing then, but I really appreciate it now. This is just kind of how we show up for each other in events like this. And I'm just so proud of all my kids in particular, doing great things. Joshua is the star of a show called All the Queen's Men on BET. Mariah was the star of the Baldwin Hill show, but now he found out he was a painter and he's doing some great things. I am Mariah J is his site on Instagram. Check that out. Josiah produced an animated series, Legends of Chamberlain Heights on Comedy Central. Now he's co-hosting the show with Gilbert Arenas, with Gil's Arena. I think it's the name of the show. Just doing a terrific job. My son Cyrus played D1 college basketball, finding themselves creatively. And then my daughter Shiloh, wave Shiloh. Shiloh's 13. Now what's interesting is that of all these great athletes here tonight, guys that I've respected, loved to watch play. You know, she saw everybody, but the one person she did see and kind of had me to identify for her was the coach at La Jolla Country Day, Terry Bamford. Terry Bamford's here, and Charlotte's like, Dad, I gotta go meet this coach. I was like, who you gotta go meet? Terry Bamford. And she coached a great player. I think Jada Williams is her name, but so that was just kind of interesting that happened that way. As you can see, Crenshaw, we have a tendency to be long-winded, and so I just want to keep that intact here. But so many great guys, as was talked about, came before me, as Tayshawn mentioned. And even though I'm an OG, you know, I'm 67 years old, but I grew up playing in Sportsman's Park, now Jesse Owens Park, on Western and Century. James Lofton was a childhood friend of mine, great broadcaster, great football player, Hall of Famer. And you know, Reggie Morris was a player at this Sportsman's Park League at that point in time. I'm 8, 9 years old, watching all these great players. And then the Crenshaw legacy. Coach West and my father taught at John Muir Junior High School together. And so they taught there a few years. They had a bowling league at Crenshaw High, bowling team, at John Muir Junior High School. And my parents would bring home like a mimeograph sheet, this green mimeograph sheet of bowling scores, and Willie West's name would be on there, and I didn't know who he was. And my dad finally brought me up there on a Tuesday night. I went to Dorsey my 10th grade year. He brought me to Crenshaw. Tuesday night league, had a run up there. He said, I want you to come up to Crenshaw, just see if you like it. I went up to Crenshaw, and they were getting ready to play, and Coach West said he was going to guard me. So I got you ain't going to score. I got you. He started elbowing me, talking trash, all this stuff. He's like 32 years old, a really good athlete, baseball player, great strong body, and but just talking trash the whole time. And I'm shy and quiet, you know, I'm like 15 years old, 1971. And one of my teammates missed a shot. I think I dunked it in or something. He's like, yeah, I think I can use you. So I went there for my junior year. We were undefeated, didn't represent the city, but my senior year we were undefeated, won a city championship, and just had a great time in terms of him developing me as a person and as a basketball player. Fortunate to play for John Wood at UCLA, won a championship in 1975, but I'm just so proud to be a part of this Southern California basketball heritage, you know, this history, and just great players and great teams. And it reminds me, I think Cooper, you're missing winning time, aren't you? You're looking at yourself on winning time. That must be recording it. Okay, good. But just so many great players and situations, and this is just an honor. This is an honor. I've been fortunate because I've been in a lot of Hall of Fames, UCLA Hall of Fame, the Crenshaw Hall of Fame, the California Hall of Fame, the Wisconsin Hall of Fame, College Basketball Hall of Fame, and you know, I never get enough of it. Just keep them coming. I never get enough of it. It's always an honor to be singled out with so many great athletes. I mean, Mr. Amoeba, Stacey Augman, and Tayshawn, and guys that I've coached against when my son Chris was playing, and an active player. So it's just a real special treat for me to be up here amongst you guys. So thank you so much for this honor, and I'm just humbled and grateful, and thank you again very much. I get a chance to introduce this next honoree, very close to me, my oldest son, Chris. And Chris is a young man that, you know, growing up, you know, he was a little thick, a little chubby, you know, didn't have the greatest basketball body. So, you know, I was a guy that had a 40-inch vert, so he was always compared to me, dealing with that growing up. So I always had to challenge him. But Coach Wooden talks about competitive greatness and enjoying a difficult challenge and embracing a difficult challenge. And Chris is the epitome of that. He's always embraced the difficult challenges. And in high school, he hit his first finger roll he ever shot, beat Mater Dei in the Southern Sectional Finals, and sent Crenshaw to the state championship, which they won his junior year. His senior year, they beat Mater Dei again. He did a double spin move at the pond that had people, you know, just rocking in their seats. And he's always been able to step up in tough situations. So one story real quick before I bring him up. His senior year at UCLA, he's complaining to me that he never gets a chance to take the last shot. He's like, Dad, I got Baron Davis, I got Toby Bailey, I got J.R. Henderson. They just won't let me take the last shot. So I said, well, Chris, listen, this is basketball history for you, and I'm a basketball historian. You know, I'm a basketball griot. I just love basketball, LA basketball, Southern California basketball. So let me tell you a story about Sidney Wicks. Sidney Wicks was at UCLA. They're playing Oregon State, I believe. And the game is tied. The clock is winding down. and Sidney has the ball near the top of the key. The guards are coming over asking for it. He's waving them off. Before it comes over, he waves them off. I said, pull a Sidney Wicks the next time you're in that situation. Lo and behold, the very next game, Washington State. I'm working for the Sonics in Seattle. It's in the mid-90s. I run back to my hotel. I know they're playing Washington State on radio. I get to my room in Seattle. I turn the radio on, Bruin Radio Network. Chris Roberts, the great Chris Roberts, is doing the game. So I turn the game on, and Chris is up. Chris Roberts comes on and says, you know, UCLA Washington State tied up, 80-all. Chris Johnson has the basketball. 15 seconds left in the game. Baron Davis comes over for the ball. Chris waves him off. Gerald Henderson comes over for the ball. Chris waves him off. 3, 2, 1. Chris shakes, pulls up from the three-point line, knocks down a three-point shot, wins the basketball game. And, he was so excited. Yeah, I put a Sidney Wicks. I was like, yeah, you sure did. So, Chris Johnson, I think you're long overdue for this kind of recognition. People that know your footwork, your ability to score, your toughness has been something that I've always respected and admired and almost envied to a certain point, because he is just so much tougher than I ever was in terms of knocking down last-second shots and having that confidence to step up in big situations. 2 state championships, Crenshaw High, 24th all-time leading scorer in UCLA history after 4 years, top 10 in three-point percentage, free throw percentage. Just a marvelous, marvelous basketball player. So Chris, come on up here, man, for your induction into the Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame. My son, number 1. He did have to college, but
Wow, thank you for that incredible introduction. I'd like to thank the Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame Committee for this tremendous honor. I never in a million years thought that I would be standing up here around the likes of you guys that are in this room sitting down, guys I looked up to, guys that were literally legends to me. My dad took me around Southern California a lot. So when he was a pro in the off seasons, he's at every run there was in the city. He's at Pan Pacific Park. He's at the Joe Weekly Run, Shoot, and Dunk League. I don't know if you guys remember that. Whether it be the NBA Summer Leagues, I was always with him in the building, kind of just enamored by guys. You know, I was short, stocky. I was more of a football type of dude. You probably could tell I don't look like a basketball guy. But growing up, so I used to emulate guys. I used to look up to guys like, man, look at Mitchell Butler, man, he's running up and down, he's jumping high, like, dude, like, Mitch was like sick back in the day. So I never put myself in the same category as you guys. I just want you to know that. If I went at you hard, it was because I was trying to compete. I was trying to prove myself to you guys, to get some respect from you guys, because I know that you guys did it. And, you know, a lot of times guys looked at me back in the day kind of like, you know, it's Marcus's son, so he kind of gets things handed to him. So for me, that lit an extra fire. I had to go above and beyond the call of duty to really prove I belong with you guys. I'd like to thank my coaches and mentors that have made a difference in my basketball journey. When I was a young man, I played at a place called Barrington Park. One of my first coaches was a guy by the name of Coach Beatty. Coach Beatty instilled toughness. He loved the way I rebounded. He was big on just how I played the game. I was nasty, I was mean, I was tough, I'd get on the ground. I mean, I was into rebounding. I was like Charles Barkley was my guy. So I would try to get on the glass on him. You know, I was always on the glass. Coach Beatty, God rest his soul, really instilled a lot of confidence in me at a young age. You guys may be familiar with Coach Beatty's grandson, DeAnthony Melton, played in the league, USC, but Coach Beatty was one of my first mentors. I'd also like to thank some guys that were really instrumental in my development through a very important part of my life. Coach Webb at Montclair Prep. I started out at Montclair Prep, Van Nuys, California, small private school. Coach Bob Webb had played with my dad at UCLA. I think they won a national championship together. He walked on. He was the coach at Montclair. And I went over there with Coach Webb, played for him for 2 years. He really instilled in me some good fundamental values, really saw the good in my game, didn't focus on the deficiencies. In fact, I couldn't really guard nobody on the perimeter. So he got me on the block and just would give it to me. He knew I could score. Could shoot it left hand, right hand, jump hook. So he'd run plays, so I would be in that position. So I'm thankful for Coach Webb. Transferred to Crenshaw to, once again, having to prove myself. Nobody back then, you weren't getting respected being at a Montclair Prep and from a Division I. It's not like it is today, where you can go to wherever you want and still they're going to look at you and respect your game. Mitchell, you know a little bit about this being at Oakwood. Back then, they looked at us kind of like, what are these dudes doing? And so my dad sat me down at the breakfast table one morning, said, hey man, if you want a Division I scholarship, you're going to have to transfer schools. And I'm like, okay. Transfer, no problem. I'm up for the challenge. He's like, yeah, I think you need to go to Crenshaw. Mind you, we're living in Bel Air.
He's telling me to go to Crenshaw. I'm like, I've known Coach West because I went to Magic Mountain with Coach West when I was 12 years old. But that's pretty much all I knew. I was kind of scared of Coach West, as a lot of us were back then. Eventually went to Crenshaw. He convinced me, and it was literally the greatest experience and decision I could have ever made in my life. I'm thankful for Coach Willie West for instilling a level of basketball in me that I didn't have. I learned how to play at a different speed. I learned how to be tougher than I was, and just the physical and mental conditioning that Coach West brought to his teams and each individual player was absolutely elite. So I'm very thankful to Coach West. Some other coaches that were there at the same time that are here tonight, Coach Ed Waters, the current head coach at Crenshaw, Coach Waters, pretty much was like, my guy, basketball growing up. We had conversations about the game that I didn't have with anyone else. We had certain understandings about basketball that I didn't have. You know that there's somebody out there, I'm sure a lot of you guys have that person that you can talk to about stuff that just understands your game, understands your footwork, understands your move, you're this, you're that, just can talk to you. Coach Waters was always that guy. I'm really happy to see his success. I'm thankful for Coach Jim Herrick for giving me the opportunity to be on scholarship at UCLA. I was looking at a couple of other schools, Arizona State. Someone mentioned George McCorn. Coach McCorn, rest in peace, was my favorite guy. And I didn't go to Arizona State. I went to UCLA. It's a funny story. The coaches, actually, the assistant coaches, so we have Lorenzo Romar, who's here tonight. We have Steve Lavin as an assistant, and Mark Gottfried were assistant coaches. They had to convince Coach Herrick to take me. Coach Herrick came and saw me play in the city championship. I had a terrible game, but I was like 14 for 14 from the free throw line, so I ended up with 28 anyway, so it looked decent in the paper. But reality was, he's like, Doc, this guy is 6'3", 275 pounds. What is he going to do in the Division I level in the Pac-10, son? Thank you, Coach Romar, for convincing Coach Herrick. Thank you for going to bat for me, Coach Rowe, and Coach Lab and Coach Gottfried. Thank you guys for selling Coach Herrick. I won a national championship my freshman year at UCLA. It's one of the greatest honors I've ever had. Me and my dad are still the only father and son to win a national championship at the same school, let alone at UCLA. Okay, so that's a big deal to us. That's a big deal to me. I'm very proud of that, and I'm thankful for that. I had a great career at UCLA. Loved all my teammates. We underachieved, in my opinion. Probably should have won another one. But the friendships and bonds that were formed have lasted a lifetime. I'd like to thank some very important people in closing. Talk about my family. My dad mentioned the Johnson Show Up For You. Those are my memories as well. I remember being a youngster and all these games I'm telling you about at Barrington and all these other places. My aunts and uncles, Aunt Daphne, Uncle Gene, Aunt Deborah, Uncle Carl, rest in peace. Aunt Michelle, Uncle Leonard, Aunt Sharon, and Uncle Tim. They were at every game. They come, just incredible support. My grandparents, Bastion and Jeff, who were incredibly supportive my whole life. My grandmother used to keep stats for me by hand, drawing the lines and the line for rebounds. So I used to just try to get as many rebounds as I can because I wanted to fill up my grandmother's cards. Just to keep it real, she kept them on index cards, so I'd be deciding to run over to her after the game. Grandmommy, how many rebounds I have? Oh, baby, he had 34. Look. So it's one of those things. I'm thankful for my grandparents. Thankful to the Lord for blessing me. Love my children. My daughter Kalila is here tonight. Thank you for putting up with your dad. Unfortunately, my son and my other daughter couldn't be here. My son tore his ACL literally playing basketball about 3 hours ago. His third ACL tear. He played at Oregon, walked on up there, won 3 Pac-12 championships with Dana Altman up there, but he's not working. But he's balling this morning, has an ACL tear. So if you guys can say a prayer for him, I really appreciate it. But again, thank you so much for this incredible honor. I'm truly blessed, humble, and grateful for this recognition.
Terry Bamford took a San Diego area high school and UC Irvine playing career into becoming one of the greatest girls basketball coaches of our era, with numerous local, regional, and state titles, all accomplished at La Jolla Country Day in San Diego. She also coached players like Candace Wiggins, and she is still winning. Let's bring up Coach Terry Bamford.
Up here, I'm humbled and honored to be even named in a class like this. Some amazing, great people that have played this game. I've been coaching at La Jolla Country Day School for 25 years and had some great players that I coached. First, I want to thank 2 people that came here with me. First, longtime assistant and lifelong friend, Bobby Petnick, and then my son, Frank Bamford. Thank you for your love, support over all these years. Me grinding in the gym. I've been blessed to coach a lot of great players, 5 McDonald's All-Americans. Candace Wiggins was inducted tonight and she played for me. Kelsey Plum, who plays for the Aces. Tahina Papa, who's a guard at South Carolina. Jada Williams and Bray Cunningham last year, they're both at Arizona. And the list goes on. So to become a great coach, you've got to have great players, and I've been blessed with some really great players. So this induction, I attribute it to my players, present and past players that allows me to be up here. So thank you to the committee, and thank you.
Congratulations, Coach. Talk about great point guards coming out of Orange County. This gentleman being right up there amongst the elite. Rich Branny. Played at Marina High School, went on to Notre Dame, beat UCLA 4 straight times in his college career. Let's bring him up. He's a great one. Rich Brandy.
Good evening. I know that more than one of you right now are thinking, what is Mitt Romney doing? I am not Mitt Romney. Thank you to the Southern California, as many of the speakers tonight, the selection committee, as many of the speakers tonight as I was listening, my attention, in addition to listening, reverted back to Southern California basketball. Historically, one of the greatest concentrations of basketball in the United States of America. Can I hear an amen? It's a rite of passage. If you coach or play in this area, you better bring it. Because there's a lot of great players. I loved basketball, I still do love basketball. And it loved me right back. You see, it's been a bridge for me personally, culturally, socioeconomically, spiritually, and educationally. I was the first man in my family to get a college education. I attended one of the finest universities in America, a university that my parents could have never afforded, beyond my wildest dreams. When I think about playing the game of basketball, I was reminded of what's once been said. You will be the same person in 10 years that you are today, except for the people you meet. Are you with me, everybody? The people you meet in this game and outside the game is beyond comprehension. Just what conversations I've heard this evening about the tie-ins of different people that you've played against and with, coached against. The people that you meet, the experiences you have. You get an opportunity to travel the globe now and play this crazy game of basketball. To experience working hard, it's been mentioned tonight, sweating together, rowing in the same direction, being challenged. Heck, I remember being at the Marina Westminster tournament when Coach Armstrong came. I was a 10-year-old kid. I'd never seen a black team before. But when the Compton Tar Babe showed up, I saw basketball played the way it was supposed to be played. I'll share with you a little story that most people won't know a little bit later about that. Finally, the experiences you have and then the books you read. The experience of attending the University of Notre Dame expanded me, it challenged me, athletically and academically. Books have become a part of my life, of reading, of growing, of experiencing. Never would have had that, I'm convinced, without the game of basketball. I'd be remiss if I didn't share with you table 16 over there, my lovely wife Diana, my son Royce, his beautiful wife Libby, my coach from high school, one of my coaches, Steve Popovich, and his wife Sherry. Thank you for joining tonight. And then I had the experience of not one, not two, but three what I consider to be Hall of Fame coaches as a high schooler. Here's the first one. Lute Olson, yeah, that one, was the first coach at Marina High School. The first when it opened up. Lute Olson used to let me in the gym as an 8-year-old. I would knock on the door and he'd open on it and say, "Come on in, Rich." And I would sit at his feet and watch him coach. Now, what you don't know is sometimes people speak into your life. Coach Olson did that for me. He said to my dad, he said, "I don't know if your son's going to ever grow, but if he does, he might become a special player." Because I love being in the gym. What you all don't realize realize is my mom was 5 foot 2 inches tall. My grandfather, 5 foot. My brother's 5'9", I'm just a tad under 6'4". But Coach Olson took the time that he put his fingerprints on me, and then I started to dream. And I fell in love with the game. He taught me to love the game first. Second coach, Jim Stevens. Probably had 200 or 300 wins himself. He was my coach my sophomore and junior year. What did Coach Jim Stevens teach me? Embrace competition. It will make you better. Seek out the best. Find the best pickup games. Challenge yourself. Play against older players. And then finally, Steve Popovich, who was a great player himself at Wyoming. In fact, his team was just recognized in the Hall of Fame there. Steve Popovich took over our program my senior year. And he used to tell me stories, we're just reliving a little bit, when he played against Pistol Pete Maravich in the Oklahoma City tournament. Pistol went for 48 against Wyoming. After 8 minutes into the game, the point guard for Wyoming said, "He ain't nothing." Pistol hadn't scored a single point in the first 8 minutes, and I went for 48 over the next, whatever that is, 32 minutes. He went 48, 55, and then 58, three successive games. You know what Coach Popovich taught me? Dream big. That's what he taught me, as I listened to those stories. So thank you for all of you tonight for waking up the echoes and reminding me what a pleasure, what a blessing it was to grow up playing basketball in Southern California. Thank you so, so much.
He may not be Mitt Romney, but please write in your vote in 2024 for Rich Brandon for President of the United States. Thank you, Mr. President. No one had a better start to their high school career than our next honoree. She went on to be state champion, player of the year, national player of the year at Linwood. Now coaching after a playing career at Tennessee and Maryland, local great performer Sade Wiley Gatewood.
Don't ask me to sing. I know my name is Sade, but I don't have the vocals. But when I'm in the shower, I got it. I'm a smooth operator when it comes to that. As I'm standing here today, my heart is filled with gratitude and humility. Before anything else, I want to pause and give all the glory to the Lord, to my Lord and Savior, His grace, His love. It's been the guiding light through the twists and turns of my journey. It's really simple to me. Without him, I wouldn't be here. He's been the anchor in my story, and today, as much as it's an honor for me, it's a testament to his faithfulness. Being recognized in this manner, being inducted into the Southern California Hall of Fame, it's such an unexpected and profound honor. But it's essential to remember that while I might be the one standing in this spotlight today, this moment, this achievement belongs to the whole cast of individuals. I want to personally give gratitude to my big brother, Keon Kendrick, the one that's they call him the gatekeeper of Los Angeles. He's been there, the intense one-on-one games, just us walking to the park, your mentorship, and above all, believing in me, even in the moments I doubted myself. To my grandmother, the monarch of my family, thank you for being the very essence of our DNA. I love you. My mother, my pillar of my strength. Even in the moments when I felt weak, your love was my guiding light, and I love you. And to my father, Jerry Gatewood, the one who tossed up a lot of people's feathers, got under a lot of people's skin. But I want to thank him for walking in your purpose, for being a testament to God's plan, and for imprinting the very purpose onto my life canvas. A significant nod to Pat Summitt, committing to the University of Tennessee as an 8th grader, wasn't just a leap, it was a transformator. Your belief in me shifted my trajectory. Rest in peace. From the coaches who saw potential in a young, eager athlete, to the teammates who became like family, pushing me to be a better version of myself. From the friends who cheered the loudest during my highs and held me closest during the lows, to my dear family whose faith and love propelled me forward, even when the roads got tough. Every challenge, every late night practice, every moment of doubt, every triumph, they all led to this moment. And I've learned that while individual achievements are celebrated, they are often built from a collective effort. We share in struggles, the joys, the lessons, and yes, of course, the victories. Looking at all of you guys, I'm reminded that the journey just wasn't about basketball or awards or accolades. It's about a community. It's about the Southern California spirit that believes in lifting each other up. It's about every young dreamer out there who's picking up a basketball for the first time, hoping to make their mark. I want to say thank you to my coach from Linwood High School, Coach Ellis. He's not here, but he prepared me for what was next in my life for college. To Archie and Coach Simpson, thank you guys for being here. They were also my Linwood assistant coaches. Thank you for preparing me for life. My pastor, First Lady, thank you guys for the spiritual journey I've been on. I'm so grateful for you guys for being here. Also, my cousin David Dunn, who played for the Raiders. Hey man, you've been a big part of my life, and I appreciate you and I love you. To my uncles, I can name everyone. To my other half, it's my best friend. I love you guys. You guys know what you guys meant to me. I don't have to give you guys a whole speech on y'all, but y'all know what y'all meant to me. In closing, while this award may be given to me, it really belongs to all of us. To everyone who played a part in my journey, and to everyone who believed in dreams, who believes in dreams, hard work, and miracles, thank you for believing in me, for walking this path with me, and for sharing these memories. I love you guys, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Shonda. Juliana Mendiola. She was an outstanding player in El Toro, but in her 4 years at Washington, she put the Huskies on the map nationally. She was a dominating player in the Pac-10 at the time. After a pro and coaching career, she is retired. Here she is, Juliana Mendiola.
First of all, I want to thank you guys. It's a great honor. My mom taught us a big lesson. People need people, and I get emotional when I talk about my family, but obviously I didn't do this alone. There's a lot of people I want to thank, but I'll keep it short, trust me. I got to put these kids to bed. I'll start with all my coaches, teammates from club basketball, Swish, El Toro High School, University of Washington, every coach I've played for, all my teammates I've ever played with, all my competitors. I see some here tonight, Seth Hoffman. Everybody who supported me, everybody who doubted me, everyone who brought out the best in me along the way, I just want to say thank you. To my college coach, the late great June Doherty, who gave me the opportunity to showcase my talent on a national level and play alongside my sister for 4 years, which was a dream. And she also showed me that you can both be a coach and a mother without feeling like you're sacrificing either, and that meant a lot for me. I'd like to thank my family, starting with my mother, who's the heartbeat of our family. She means everything to me. She was really the person that I put on a pedestal, the person I looked up to most. I still do. I wore her number 13. Hopefully, I made you proud. And you definitely taught me. You prepared me for life, and most importantly, you prepared me for motherhood. I'd like to thank, obviously, my parents, my dad as well, working 2 jobs, sacrificing a lot to support the 9 of us, the 9 kids. My mom breaking her back, raising us, and they really taught me. They really showed me what sacrifice looked like. They showed me what work ethic looked like. A lot of the things, the mental toughness, a lot of the things that I was known for, I guess, in basketball is, I get it from my family, with my parents. To my aunt, who's often in the shadows, but she's there every step of the way all my life. She's here tonight filming as usual. I'm pretty sure we have our life on film. To my brothers and sisters, the love, the support, the loyalty, unwavering really. We went to hell and back many times. But we did this together. We stayed, we stayed strong. We stood by each other. You guys made going to girls basketball in Orange County cool. People started packing the house to watch our games, and it really started with my family. We rolled like 50 deep, so it was fun. And especially special thanks to my brother Fab, who was a basketball player in our family, who he probably didn't even know, but I trained really hard just to try to reach him, to catch him, to beat him. To my twin brother, Willie. He doesn't know the kind of impact he had on my life. He was my #1 fan, probably. Knows my stats and my accolades better than I do. And I just remember being in elementary school, where he kicked guys off the court if they didn't let me play basketball until they let me join in, and I never looked back since, so thank you, Louie. To my nieces, Angelina and Julie, and all my nieces and nephews that aren't here, who aspire to be athletes, who are basketball players, soccer players, or whatever passions that they do have. All of this doesn't happen without, work. If you want to succeed, you got to put in the work. There's no secret formula to it. You just got to put in work and commit wholeheartedly to it. To my children, you guys are my everything. This is my daughter Gio, named after my sister. This is my son Leo. I got another one. We call him Juju. It's Giuliano sitting over there. They are my world. As much as I appreciate what basketball meant for me, it was a huge part of my life. It afforded me a lot of opportunities, a lot of experiences, but there's nothing in this world, more special to me than being a mother. They're my pride and joy. They're forever my happy place, and forever my why and what I do in everything in life. And lastly, I want to thank my sister. Hold on. My sister Gio. All these championships, all these MVPs, all these players of the years, all the Hall of Fames, all the recognition I've ever received in my life was not done without her. She's my favorite teammate. She's my best friend. A lot of people, when they describe, what I've accomplished, they say, I changed the culture. I changed, It was we changed the culture. We created a culture in club basketball, winning national championships together. We changed the culture at El Toro High School. We changed the culture at University of Washington. It was we. It was never just me. So to show my gratitude, I want Gio to come up here and share this moment with me, just because I feel like it's fitting. So. Thank you again for this honor. Thank you to my sister. Thank you to my family. I just feel very blessed to have the support system that I have. So I guess, Gio, if you can accept this medal as just a show of gratitude for what you've meant in my career and what you mean in my life.
How cool is that? Our final honoree knows how to win basketball games. Three-time All-State Guard selection at Crayola Linda and a four-time NCAA Final Four player at Stanford. She won over 90% of her games over 7 years in high school and college. She then was a WNBA first-round draft choice, number 9 overall. Today she is back working at Stanford as Director of Player Development. Jeanette Poland.
So I think I'm the last one, and does that mean there's no time limit on my speech? Is that right? Just kidding, just kidding.
Just make believe you're from Crenshaw.
That might be a little tough, but I'll, you know. First and foremost, I want to say thank you again to the committee for nominating me, for accepting me into this 2023 class. I am truly honored and humbled. Just looking out and being able to listen to all these speeches has been very inspiring to me tonight. I first want to start by thanking my coaches. I've played for some very highly touted coaches, Coach Jeff Sink at Braille High School, Tara Vanderveer at Stanford University, and on to the pro level in the WNBA. I truly believe that coaches can make such a huge impact at a young age, and I think that's what happened with the coaches that I was given. I want to thank my family. I have my brother here tonight, Tom, my sister-in-law, Amanda, my uncle, Mike, and I want to thank Walt, who's in the back filming, for just their love, encouragement, and support during some highs and lows throughout my career. Playing basketball in Southern California was a privilege that transformed my career and prepared me to play at Stanford University and beyond. The rich basketball culture and competition here pushed me to reach new heights, and I'm so grateful I was able to be a part of it. Basketball has taken me all over the world and truly opened more doors than I could have ever imagined, including being back at Stanford as Director of Player Development. It's an honor to guide and inspire the next generation of players, helping them navigate their own unique paths in this beautiful sport. I also want to shout out Candace Wiggins, who was a senior my freshman year at Stanford, and she was truly one of the most amazing teammates who took care of everybody and led by example. Led us back to our first Final Four in 11 seasons her senior year. Lastly, I would like to dedicate this induction tonight to the two most influential people in my life, my mom and dad, who are no longer with us. I actually got the call about a week and a half after my mom passed in April of this year that I was nominated to be in the Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame. She was truly one of my most inspirational people. She battled cancer for the last 5 years, and just seeing her fight and stay strong for all of us was amazing. My dad was one of the most brilliant basketball coaches and taught me so much about the game, saw so many details that the common fan would never see, and we bonded over basketball. I want to thank everybody here tonight and congratulate you all again, the inductees. It's truly a great honor, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thank you.
Well, let's hear it for all who went into the Southern California Basketball Hall of Fame. What a great couple classes we have had. Also, for you honorable individuals, it's time to have a picture taken at the end of the night. The honorees, come on up. Nice photo taken, and I think it'll be a memory lasting a lifetime.
You're watching VideoWebb with my man.
Did you know I have a gift for you? No, it isn't red or white or blue. It isn't wrapped in silver green or precious gold, because the gift I have for you is love. Did you know I have a gift for you? It comes straight from my heart, and it is true. It can't be stolen, borrowed, bought, on sale or sold, because the gift I give to you is love. Flowers, cards, and candy purchased from a store can make you feel so special, but I can give you more. Did you know I have a gift for you? To receive it, you don't have a single thing to do. No envelope to seal, and there's no mail to rush, because the gift I send to you is love. Did you know I have a gift for you? I promise it will last your whole life through. It will never ever melt or wilt or rust, because my gift forever yours is love. Diamonds, pearls, and rubies, for years they will endure, but the gift I give to you will last forevermore. Did you know I have a gift for you? No, it isn't red or white or blue. It isn't wrapped in silver green or precious gold, because the gift I have for you is love.
What's up? You're watching VideoWebb.
You could feel how much I care. is really free on stage. That's where I always wanna be, on stage. On stage, I always wanna be on stage, singing, dancing, making music for the people on stage. Yeah, my heart is really free on stage, rock and rolling to the rhythm of the music. The crowd roars, and now the stage is full of roses. But then the curtain falls, and I'm backstage one more. Encore, someone tells me that's what the noise is, and in a flash I'm right back out there on the floor, on stage. Yeah, that's where my heart is really free. Yeah, that's where I always wanna be, on stage, on stage. I always wanna be on stage, singing, dancing, making music for the people on stage. My heart is really free on stage, rock and rolling to the rhythm of the music on stage. Yeah, that's where I wanna be, on stage.
You're watching VideoWebb.